Imagine a world without cities, without forests, without a single flower blooming anywhere on earth. No birds singing, no fish swimming, not even insects buzzing. Sounds like the plot of a sci fi movie, right? Well, it's not fiction. This was our planet about 2 billion years ago. Before you start thinking of Earth as a dull, empty rock, trust me, it wasn't. This version of Earth was alive in ways we can barely comprehend. And today, we're going to explore what life looked like on our world back then. Hold on tight, because some of these revelations might just blow your mind. Well, let's dive deep into the past. About 2 billion years ago, Earth was a cauldron of fire and chaos. Volcanic eruptions spewed gases into the atmosphere, and the air was thick with carbon dioxide, methane, and other gases that would make your lungs scream if you took a deep breath. But here's where things get pretty wild. This turbulent world set the stage for one of the most dramatic transformations in Earth history, the Great Oxidation Event. Imagine the entire planet struggling to breathe for the first time. Cyanobacteria, tiny blue-green organisms began to produce oxygen through photosynthesis, flooding the oceans and eventually the atmosphere. Sounds good, right? Well, it was actually a bit of a disaster. Oxygen might be our lifeline today, but back then it was a poison to most of the life forms. Entire ecosystems were wiped out, and Earth plunged into what scientists call today oxygen holocaust. Who knew oxygen could be such a drama queen? But this change set the stage for the Earth as we know today. As oxygen began to build up, the skies transformed from hazy orange to the familiar blue. It's a bit like Earth taking its first deep breath after being underwater for millions of years. But if you thought a sudden flood of oxygen was the most shocking thing, wait until you hear about the seas. About 2 billion years ago, Earth's oceans were, let's just say, you wouldn't want to take a dip into them. Imagine seas that looked more like alien soup, rich in iron, thick with dissolved minerals, and tinged with a greenish hue. These waters were nothing like the crystal clear oceans we cherish today. Forget those Instagram beach photos. Swimming with the iron bacteria doesn't have the quite same ring to it, does it? But what makes these oceans so fascinating is how they changed. As cyanobacteria released oxygen, iron in the water began to react with it, creating rust. Yep, literally rust. This reaction eventually led to what scientists call banded iron formations, layers of iron rich rock that tell the story of ancient seas. It's as if Earth was painting its history into the ocean floor, leaving a message for future explorers to decode. These changes would eventually transform the ocean from murky and toxic into a cradle of life that gave birth to complex organisms. But before life could thrive, Earth had no one more surprise up its sleeve. A frozen surprise. Picture this: Earth not as a lush blue-green oasis, but as a giant snowball completely frozen over. Yep, 2 billion years ago, Earth went through a phase where it became a literal ice world, a time scientists refer to as snowball Earth. Glaciers covered nearly every inch of the surface from pole to pole, locking the oceans beneath thick sheets of ice. Talk about overdoing it with the air conditioning, right? But as harsh as it sounds, this frozen phase may have been essential. Beneath the icy shell, life was fighting to survive, adapting, evolving in the dark waters below. This extreme environment may have even triggered the development of early multicellular life, the first whispers of complexity that would eventually give rise to every plant, animal, and human we know today. It's almost as if Earth was resetting itself, preparing for something greater. And as the ice began to melt, revealed a planet ready for the next big chapter. A chapter of ancient continents and strange new life forms. Back then, Earth's continents were quite like the ones we see on maps today. Instead of familiar shapes like Africa or Asia, there was a supercontinent called Nuna, a massive landmass surrounded by alien ocean. Picture a lonely barren continent with no trees, no animals, just rocky landscapes stretching endlessly under a faint, distant sun. But how did Earth go from that to lush green continents teeming with life? It's all thanks to plate tectonics, Earth's slow but unstoppable conveyor belt. These shifting plates created mountains, volcanic islands, and new oceans. It's like Earth was in a constant state of renovation, breaking and building itself over millions of years. This relentless motion also stirred up nutrients in the ocean, fueling the growth of life in the deep. Earth was becoming more diverse, more dynamic, laying the groundwork for the explosion of life that would come millions of years later, but not before one final twist. A crisis that would change the game yet again. Because just when Earth seemed to be stabilizing, it faced one more catastrophic challenge. So, what happened next? Well, Earth continued to evolve as life adapted to all these challenges. The survivors of the Great Oxidation, the frozen world, and the shifting of continents became the ancestors of everything that came after. Tiny organisms that learned to thrive in challenging world. It's almost poetic, isn't it? The very struggles that could have ended life on Earth ended up shaping it, strengthening it, and making it more complex and resilient. And here's the amazing part. Without those tumultuous 2 billion years, we wouldn't be here today. Every breath you take is a reminder of Earth's incredible journey from a toxic wasteland to the vibrant world we call home. So, the next time you gaze up at the sky or hear the crash of ocean waves, remember this. Beneath our feet lies a history of fire, ice, and evolution. A story that took billions of years to unfold, and that story is still being written. That was it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you like and subscribe if you want to keep exploring the mysteries of our incredible planet. Who knows what other secrets the Earth has yet to reveal.